What is up, guys? It's your boy, Rick. There was a sewage backup at my house. It was a very crappy situation. Cactus, that's a true story, by the way. And today, we've got some brand spanking new Destiny 2 news, courtesy of the Bungie weekly update that has just gone live, revealing official information. And so, let's get started. Now, first things first, what's been going on this week within Destiny 2? Well, at reset, the first Iron Banner of Season of the Wish went live, and the 2 weapons being added to the Iron Banner loot pool this season are actually pretty cracked. Like the rolls, we've got some rolls like we've never seen before. We've got some top tier, like S+ tier PvP rolls as well. So I did do a video breaking that down. Definitely check it out. It's linked up above. However, oh my goodness, Iron Banner was a little bit different this week because it launched with the brand new Tribute game mode where you go collect these crests, you have to deposit them in this certain area, there's Cabal turrets, it's pretty crazy, and the Destiny 2 community hated it, dude. Like, it was not well received at all. So much so that it's actually gone. As you can see right here from a tweet from the official Destiny 2 team account, based on early player responses, we are replacing Iron Banner Tribute with Iron Banner Control, which is like the traditional Iron Banner mode for the rest of the week. And they talk about kind of why they thought Tribute would be a good idea, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so there you go. If you were not enjoying the original game mode for Iron Banner, definitely hop back in because it's back to the classic Iron Banner Control. Now, moving on from there, speaking of the Destiny 2 team account, they've also tweeted out some very important changes that are going to be arriving next week. So, as you can see right here, one of the things that happened this season is that they dramatically reduced the amount of orbs you can generate. You're not going to generate them as fast, but they say we've been monitoring feedback, and essentially what they're doing is that now when you equip multiple copies of mods that generate orbs, it will actually reduce the cooldown. So as you can see right here in the bottom tweet, if you have 1 copy of something like heavy-handed, every 10 seconds it can make an orb. If you have 2 copies, it cuts it all the way down to 5 seconds. If you have all 3 copies, it's a 1-second cooldown for generating those orbs. Now, there has been a lot of discussion around this, talking about, well, you know, if you have a melee-centric build, they can easily put 2 heavy-handeds, whereas if you have a more generalized build that relies on a bunch of different mods, finding slots for like 2 of these mods can be quite difficult. So I think there's still some balancing changes Bungie needs to do, but definitely keep that in mind next week. Make sure to potentially put on multiple of those orb generating mods to massively increase how often you can make orbs of power. And another tweet that came out, I mean, seriously, like a couple minutes ago, is this one right here. We are reducing the focusing costs for ritual vendors in next week's update. All Crucible, Gambit, and Vanguard Ops legacy focusing will cost 3 engrams. The only exception is unobtained legacy Nightfall weapons that will still cost 5 engrams. So don't focus until this cost reduction next week. Moving on from there, something very big that happened outside the TWAB is a huge article released from IGN, talking to Bungie insiders, both still at the company and some of the people who have been laid off, talking about all the things going on internally within Bungie, and it's not great. The main takeaway, guys, is that Sony, upon buying Bungie, actually has the power to dissolve the board of directors, which is right now majority controlled by Bungie, if they miss more of their sales targets. So infamously, when all these layoffs started, apparently they missed sales projections for 2023 by 45%. If this continues, Sony does have the ability to come in and completely take over Bungie leadership. Some people are saying this is a good thing, some people saying this is a horrible thing. I did do a complete video going over that article. Check it out, it's linked up above. But moving on from there, guys, let's get to the brand new information within the TWAB. And first off, we have a preview of The Dawning, the next event arriving in Destiny 2 on the December 12th Tuesday reset. So, of course, that means the return of Eva Levante and the Holiday Oven. We're going to be baking some cookies, gamers. And speaking of which, Bungie says, gather ingredients and dawning essence by defeating enemies and completing various activities and bounties. Once you have enough ingredients, you can combine them in Eva's Holiday Oven 2.1 to create yummy treats like Gallardoodles, classic butter cookies, and more. Eva's Holiday Oven 2.1 can be located in your Quest tab and is acquired from Eva Levante. You can gift these treats to characters across the system in exchange for rewards. Now we also have a section called Upgrades. Purchase a variety of upgrades using Dawning Spirit, which you can get by completing event card challenges, activating boons of friendship, and delivering baked treats. Upgrades will last for the duration of the event and provide, first of all, bonus event rewards. Then you have the ability to earn dawning weapons with additional perks from Eva, making the god roll much easier to acquire. Then we have increased power and utility from your stasis snowballs, and then weapon focusing that allows for targeted weapon drops, again for farming those god rolls. Moving on from there, speaking of stasis snowballs, they say this year we updated the way snowballs are spawned. Eliminations using dawning weapons or abilities will create a snowball spawn point where an enemy was defeated. So they used to just spawn randomly around the game and you would go and find and pick them up and throw them, but now you can spawn them yourself. It could actually be pretty interesting. Moving on from there, we have a new dawning memento. As you can see right here, they say, pick up the Winter Night quest from Eva Levante for your chance to earn the Dawning Memento reward. Additional mementos can be acquired from opening a gift in return once the first memento is acquired. And that actually does look pretty sick right there. And then next up, of course, we have to talk about the brand new Dawning exclusive weapon. It's called the Albo Wing. They say, in addition, we have a new glaive this year, the Albo Wing. You can acquire this weapon from event challenges, weapon focusing, or festive engrams, which can be purchased using a gift in return and Dawning Spirit. Now, they go on to talk more about this weapon specifically, saying, this is Destiny's second hard-hitting, aggressive frame glade that can roll some of the new perks from this season. This one includes the very new, very cool Beacon Rounds perk, which is otherwise only found on rocket-assisted sidearms. Guys, that's crazy. I have a roll of the rocket-assisted sidearm. I'm going to show some gameplay in the background. With Beacon Rounds, it adds a massive degree of tracking. Look at this bullet curve 90 degrees to go get this enemy. That on a glaive with tracking glaive rounds? That is true. We've never seen anything like that. That is actually pretty crazy. That could be juicy, guys. Now, moving on from there, they talk more about dawning weapon perks. Included below is a roundup of the notable weapons perks that appear on this year's Dawning weapons. We've updated all the existing Dawning weapons with new perks too. So that's important. You're not just going after the brand new glaive. All of the old Dawning weapons like the Avalanche machine gun, you've got the, I forget the name, the Cold something SMG, like all that stuff is going to be back in the loot pool now with new perks. And these new perks include Deconstruct. Yeah, it's alright. It does refill your magazine for continued damage. A lot of people don't know that, but the damage against vehicles no one cares about. Then you have Attrition Orbs, where dealing sustained damage creates an orb of power. We have Cold Steel, powered sword hits slow targets. That's actually an old perk from years ago. Beacon Rounds, so potentially more things might have Beacon Rounds. Then we have the Dawning Surprise Origin trait. Rapidly defeating targets awards a Dawning gift. Defeated powerful targets count as more than one, and this gift is usually like in the form of Glimmer, so just use Dawning weapons and literally spawn extra resources. It's kind of cool. Now, Bungie actually goes on to say, keep an eye out for the Zephyr, the only stasis sword for now with the Cold Steel trait. Also note that the damage bonus from Deconstruct stacks with the Haka Breach Armaments origin trait that you can select on the Albo Wing. This is alongside the Dawning Surprise origin trait that appears on all Dawning weapons. So it does sound like if you don't care about, spawning extra Glimmer and those Dawning gifts, often these weapons are going to have an additional secondary, like Foundry origin trait you can just put on instead. Now, of course, a new event means some new stuff in the Bungie store. You can see that right here. And then we have the Great Dawning Bake Off, with Bungie saying, this year we want to do something extra outside the game. Welcome to the Great Dawning Bake Off. We want Guardians everywhere to make their best desserts and share them with the community through pictures and videos, so the spirit of the Dawning reaches every corner of the world. So you can make a crazy dessert, share it on social media with the hashtag #DawningBakeOff, and you have the chance to win this exclusive emblem. But guys, moving on from there, Bungie has some Season of the Wish launch updates, so things they're looking to change. First of all, for Blind Well, basically everyone got so mad they had to do a couple of Blind Wells in the opening week of this season. Bungie's like, whoa, relax, you won't need to go back until week 6, and we'll have one seasonable challenge tied to Blind Well later in the season and stuff like that. Then you have Riven's Lair and the Coil. Basically, they say from our early observations, the shard economy is too unforgiving, and the team is looking to improve this. In my personal opinion, if you get every jar, which is really not too hard to do, they actually have like determined spawn locations. So if you just look in the same places every time, there'll always be jars there, really. And if you get them all, you're basically guaranteed platinum. And I kind of like how you have to put a little bit of effort and a little bit of knowledge into an activity to actually get the best reward. But hey, they're just going to make that easier apparently, so maybe you can miss a few more jars and still get that platinum rating. Moving on from there, PvP activities. You can see a bunch of changes right here. I'm just going to leave. Then they talk about a few more things that I already mentioned earlier in the video from the Destiny 2 team account, with one interesting thing being Vault from Orbit. So basically Bungie says we fixed a bug that allowed players to access their vault from an activity with improper UI, but everyone liked this so much they say that they're going to actually just do this normally. And specifically they say our goal is to allow your full fire team to be able to vault from anywhere in an update after final shape. So that is going to be a while before it arrives, but that is an awesome change. Moving on from there, guys, the Fireteam Finder beta is live. As of yesterday, they opened it up to all activities, so if you want to do the brand new Warlord's Ruin dungeon or whatever, that is there for you to utilize. Now, moving on from there, if you beat Warlord's Ruin, speaking of, there's some stuff you can now get in the Bungie store. You can see the vests right here. There's some pins associated with this as well. And so, guys, that is it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.